Day 5 of the Wonderland Trail. It's another casual day. Still in my tent at the campsite in Klapatche Park. Yesterday I heard there was going to be a whole bunch of thunderstorms today. It doesn't seem to be happening. The thunderstorms are supposed to hit within like an hour, and all I see is clouds. So we got clouds roaming up the hillside, and then on Rainier, the sun is trying to break through the clouds up there. So it doesn't really look like that bad of weather right now. The problem is I'm only going 4 miles, like something like 4 miles. And a mile into that is a swimming lake. So part of me is kind of doing fingers crossed. Maybe I'll sit here a little bit and the sun will burn off the clouds and I'll be able to swim. I don't think that's gonna happen. So just trying to chill here for a little bit, trying to leave late, which is difficult for me. And then we'll see what happens when I get to that lake. So this is the view from my campsite 2, looking down kind of into the North Puyallup River Canyon area. You can see these clouds just coming up slope, just trying to reach the mountain here. You can actually see the mountain from my campsite as well. Not as great. Very cloudy, but what you can't see is the sun over here that's been burning through and then being covered, burning through and being covered. Looking over the tarn here and heading out of Klapatche Park, you can see the smoke monster from the lowlands is kind of making its way up that river canyon there. And then we got the clouds up on top of Rainier. Sun's still trying to poke through. It's actually very beautiful, but no thunderstorms. I think the latest prediction was there's going to be rain between 1 and 3, so I'm headed towards St. Andrew's Lake. I doubt I'm going to be able to do any swimming. So even though it is kind of an overcast day, I do want to point out it is wildflower season. I did download some guides from Mount Rainier. These guys are pretty common. My pronunciation is probably going to be off of them. They're labeled as American Bistort on my sheet, but they're pretty ubiquitous out here. It's also been a lot of looping, a lot of paintbrush. If I have the time and the and the light, I might try to do some wildflower hunting too. This is another one I've been seeing a lot of. My guess from the very limited guide there is it's the common harebell, or Scott's bluebell, but I've been seeing them a lot in these little clumps along the trail. There's some on the slope too. They're pretty small, so you gotta kind of get close to them. And then actually up here, looks like there's some paintbrush. These reds right here. There should be scarlet and magenta paintbrushes. You can see why they get the name paintbrush. These are, I'm assuming, scarlet. I'm assuming the magenta looks more magenta. There's a whole bunch of them. They're really common. Well, this isn't the densest wildflower section I've gone through, but do seem to be quite a few. These are the western anemone. And I'm sorry, I'm out of breath. This is an uphill section. These I love because of their name. What's funny is these little hairy things there are not the flowers. They're the actual seed pods. They do have flowers, but those flowers look more like flowers. And they're less numerous in this section, but they're here, so that's got to be the magenta paintbrush right there too. A lot more of that American Bistort, some of that western anemone. What else was I seeing that I recognize? Oh, there were a whole bunch of asters back there. I think I pointed out the first day. Okay, here we go. We got the magenta paintbrushes right across from the scarlet, stuck in that skunk cabbage there. Yeah, this is a nice section where it's got both of them, the different colors. I'm just coming across this, so I came to this view and I'm like, oh, maybe the clouds are clearing up. Then I see Rainier and I'm like, maybe they're not. We've also got a great view of the clouds coming up from that canyon valley down there. They're actually pretty mesmerizing. I had so much time yesterday, I was just kind of watching the clouds just all around here. These will kind of come up. Sometimes there'll be these wisps that kind of break off and they'll float over the trees. Kind of cool looking. All right, approaching St. Andrew's Lake, right below Clouded and Rainier. And the reason this lake is so hyped up for swimming is because it is shallow, and therefore it's a lot warmer than a lot of these other lakes. And you know what? That climb did make me a little hot. The sky above doesn't look too bad. There's not that cold breeze. I might try to go for that really quick dip. Alright, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad I actually stopped and did that. I wish it was sunnier so that it was warmer and I could have stayed here longer. But I do hear there are benefits to cold water swimming and cold plunges physically and mentally, and I have to admit I feel pretty good both physically and mentally after that. So that was a good decision. So of course they're not going to do it now, but I keep hearing eeps of pikas from that talus field over here. But turn around to this other side, this west side, looking down off the mountain. Does that not scream Pacific Northwest? That is like quintessential Pacific Northwest, those little peaks coming up through the clouds there. Continuing on the Wildflower tour, these are fun. I've been seeing these all over the place. According to the guide, Rosie Spirea, not sure about the pronunciation, but there are these bright pink little puffballs, and they are pretty common. Oh, I've been waiting for these. They're a little off trail, so I can't get too close to them. There's a couple smaller ones over there. These are Columbia lilies. They're also known as tiger lilies. They are not the only tiger lilies. There's many other lilies called tiger lilies. These are one of them. They're super beautiful though. Bright orange with those, I can get to focus, those kind of brown spots underneath. Let's see if I can get to this other one that's a little closer. There's another one just right over here. Doesn't look as in good shape though. Well, maybe it's just smaller. So Columbia lily or tiger lily. There it is. They're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Here we go. That's another one. That's a good view of it right next to the trail, and I can see under it that little tiger lily, Columbia lily. The other lilies on the stalk are not doing so hot. But headed down again, down in elevation to South Puyallup. I think I'm getting it. South Puyallup Camp. It's the river camp, South Puyallup River. And that's where I'm going to stay today, which might be fortuitous because I did get the, so jungly here, I did get the weather forecast from my GPS. I do bushwhacking. And it does say thunderstorms at like 1 o'clock and then rain throughout most of the afternoon. So I'm going down in elevation, which is good. And then I could probably get my tent set up before any rain hits. So kind of fortuitous that this is a casual day. Would have liked to have had sun so I can charge my electronics, but you know, if I can just hang out in my tent on the rainy days, that's good too. Nice, got another footbridge in a loud river. So this has got to be the South Puyallup River. Yeah, that's a glacial river. Let me get out on the footbridge. Oh, it's loud too. Okay, so we're gonna look downstream first. It's an impressive river gorge, river canyon. All right, I'm gonna turn around to, glacial river, and on a clear day, mountain. The only part of mountain today. Still looks really cool. Let me see if I can focus in on that at all. little bit. There you go. And there's a nice sign for the South Puyallup River Camp, 200 feet this direction. I'm not impressed with these forecasts so far, but I'm still gonna get my tent set up before any potential rain or storms hit. Okay, so I've set myself up at site 2. Since the weather's still holding, I'm gonna head down this trail. And this is actually technically a little side trail from the Wonderland, but just down the trail here should be some basalt columns that I probably wouldn't have known about if I wasn't staying at this camp. So I'm gonna go check them out. Alright, just approaching a good viewpoint of them. That's cool. Look at that. Maybe I'll come up here a little bit. So these are basalt columns. They occur in, woo, look at that! They occur in volcanic areas. It happens when the lava cools under specific conditions, like it cools evenly, I know that. So there's they form these like hexagonal shapes. So if you're familiar with the hiking on the JMT, and it basically followed this entire wall here. It's just basalt columns. This is just where it looks the coolest. If you follow like the John Muir Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail, you know there's the Devil's Post Pile right outside Mammoth Lakes. Same thing. Famous one is the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. There's a black sand beach in Iceland. I forget what the name of it is, but it has some cool columns as well. And they're here on the South Puyallup River. Alright, it's getting later into the afternoon, so I'm going to go ahead and call it. This is the end of day 5. There was no lightning, there was no thunder, didn't rain. I don't know what these forecasts are doing. Actually had a little bit of sun. There's sun behind me, you can see a pocket behind me. I was able to charge my phone maybe about 10%, which is better than what I was expecting. What there was a lot of wind, but luckily this site is really protected, so I was just watching the trees kind of in the river canyon go back and forth, but it's pretty protected here. It's just a light breeze. So tomorrow there's going to be a little bit more to the day. It's still going to be a short day from my perspective, maybe just under 10 miles, but it's way more than I've been doing the past couple days, the grand tour of this southwest section of the loop. I'm going to Pyramid Creek, and there should be a whole bunch of up and down, and we'll see what else.